Hi, this is Demetriou of Demetriou, Montano Associates. We're tax specialists. We help people and businesses who are in trouble with the IRS. In fact, all of our clients owe the IRS anywhere from $20,000 to $3 or $4 million. Why do we specialize in this kind of work? It's because my partner and I were both tax collectors for the Internal Revenue Service. But we left the IRS over 25 years ago. And for the last 25 years, we've done nothing but represent people and businesses here in Southern California. We haven't come along in the last 5 or 10 years like a lot of those firms you see on TV. We've been here for 25 years. We're now known as the firm that tax professionals refer their clients to when they have real problems. Most clients, when they call me or come and see us, normally ask for the Pennies on the Dollar program. You've probably heard the pennies on the dollar on the TV or on the radio. Well, in reality, it's called the offer in compromise. It's a settlement of your debt for less than you actually owe. You might owe $50,000 and we can settle it for $20,000. You might owe $400,000 and we might settle it for $100,000. It's a difficult program. It requires a lot of work, but it does work. I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is, in 2013, the IRS only accepted about 600 offers in compromise per state. For the whole year, they accepted about 31,000. But that was 2013. The good news is that we've seen in the last 12 to 18 months, the IRS accepting more and more offers in compromise. It's becoming a much more viable alternative. We're doing more offers and we're getting more offers accepted by the IRS. But it's not by guess or by golly to determine how much to offer the IRS. Clients always ask me, Jim used to work for the IRS, what's the secret percentage? Well, there is no secret percentage. It's based on financial analysis. First of all, the offer in compromise takes 6 months to a year to get through the IRS system, sometimes longer. But it is based on a lot of information. Number one, the IRS is going to look at your equity and assets. If you own a home, if you own a car, boats, planes, any kind of real estate, vehicles, retirement plans. What is the equity in those assets? What can you borrow on that asset? If it's an asset you don't need, a second car, a third car, a boat, the IRS might ask you to sell that asset and make that money part of your offer in compromise. So the first thing they look at is the equity and assets. The second thing they look at is your income and expenses. They look at your income and expenses on an average monthly basis. They look over the last year or two to see what that average income and expenses are. However, they only allow certain expenses. They'll allow all the basics, rent, utilities, groceries, car insurance, life insurance, all those things that are almost required to survive. But some things they won't allow, which is excessive expenses. For example, they'll allow a car payment of about $500 a month, but they're not going to allow that $1,300 a month Corvette payment. They'll allow reasonable rent, reasonable utilities, but it can't be exorbitant. Then they combine your equity and assets with your ability to pay them on a monthly basis. Do you have money left over at the end of each month, $100 a month or $200 a month, to contribute to the offer in compromise? Once we provide all this information to the Internal Revenue Service, they do an analysis to see if the offer amount we proposed is appropriate, or should the offer amount be more. But the important thing is that when we do the offer in compromise, because we're former IRS and because we've been doing this kind of work for 25 years, we know very well what the IRS allows, what they don't allow, and what that offer in compromise should be. As you can see, the offer in compromise process is complicated. I must all tell you there's one thing that's very important. The offer in compromise process was meant to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. In fact, the IRS requires that after they accept your offer in compromise and you pay it, you must file and pay your taxes on time for a minimum of 5 years. So we don't want to do an offer in compromise to settle your tax debt for less than you owe until we know that you won't owe for at least the next 5 years and hopefully never again. So keep in mind, once this is done, you've got to file and pay for at least the next 5 years. In conclusion, I would like to restate that offers in compromise are becoming more of a viable alternative to tax delinquency. They're not easy. Like I said, in 2013, the IRS only accepted 600 per state. That's not very many. But they're getting more receptive and more understanding, and we hope to be preparing and submitting more and more offers in compromise. So if you think you've got a good tax case, a good offer in compromise case, or even if you just need an installment agreement, or if you're in a hardship and can't pay the IRS anything at all, give us a call. Remember, 888-987-1040, and we can discuss the offer in compromise right over the phone.